welcome to my channel. Did you hear the fun church? Well, I got some things to talk to you about, and I am going to wait until I get in my house, okay? But yeah, I want to talk to you guys about some things that are really stressing me out, okay? And you know what? I don't mind that the church is going on its tangent tonight because you guys haven't had a soundtrack in a while, am I right? Okay, let me do first of all the proper turnaround since you didn't get a chance to see it. And tonight, the church hell night, that's a Thursday night, and of course Saturday is going to be another fun church hell. I have been doing a whole lot of packing ever since. Now I've been packing for years actually, but ever since the day that our landlord went and referred to the grow room, which is also our storage room, which has boxed up clothes of mine, shoes of mine, and a whole lot of bags of my clothes and different things. And anyway, it's not junk. And he said he thought it looked like trash. And I have been going out of my way to protect things, put things in containers, put things in. I found a really large duffel bag, and I put a bunch of t-shirts, for instance, or groupings of items like those Indian trousers that I did the fashion show with. I have them in big quart-size Ziploc bags or gallon-size, whatever they are. And anyway, put in this giant duffel bag that's so big that it really is not impossible to carry, but it is a challenge to carry. Just to have things so that I could, push comes to shove, take armfuls of or take containers of things out of here for safekeeping. And in light of what happened with the ceiling coming down in some apartments down behind me, we had some rains that were fairly heavy with the winds, and one of the apartments, some of the acoustical ceiling, feet and feet of it was coming down, exposing entire people's beds to the elements. You could see wires, you could see the sky. There, things should not be. And it was only when my mother was on the phone with the dear landlord, it happened to mention, because she was talking to him about how she had the rent check ready for him or whatever. And, oh, by the way, did you know about the roof leak and everything? If she hadn't said something to him, he wouldn't have known about it. And I don't know when that roof would have gotten fixed. People shouldn't have to live like that. There's really is not necessary. So I've been packing and I've been packing and I've been packing, and I'm really trying to make it to Los Angeles. There's things I need to do there, and I have actually gotten to the point where I don't want to get a Greyhound ticket, because that could be close to $500, and that money could be better spent. That kind of money, I could get another computer or something, and I need more devices so that I could create content in an easier way. I do miss kind of having really small things that I could, like for instance, if I was in LA to take care of the business I need to take care of, especially with all the high crime and stuff that's going on now, maybe it would be better for me not to have this computer, but to have something smaller so that I would have less, whole bunch of things that have a risk of data being stolen if you get holed up or something. But I'm trying to find other ways to get out to California, and I've even gotten so far as drawing up a little bit of a wardrobe list, because and I think that would be a good subject for a future video, because I think that whenever you're packing for a potential trip and you think of how many days and nights, and then you're thinking, I think a really good way to pack for wardrobe, at least for things, is to think of specific occasions that you would like to go to. This works for me when I'm thinking about going to Washington, D.C., and why not going back to Los Angeles? And even thinking of like the club life that you would like. If you would like to be prepared for a white party, for instance, then you know you want to have white clothes. If you are hoping that there may be an anime fan convention of some kind, maybe a Sanrio thing or Hello Kitty thing, then bring a Hello Kitty shirt. Some things pack for the kind of events that you would really like to be prepared for if you stumbled upon them. I think that is just makes a lot of sense. So I'm thinking if I want to go to the Hare Krishna temples, then pack some things specifically for that. If I want to go to an AA meeting, pack some things specifically for that. Which means don't make everything you pack be covered with pot leaves, for instance. But so things like that are on my mind, and trying to find a safe way to get out there is on my mind. And and there's people who are well-meaning and trying to be helpful. And one of my plans was to get the school bus, turn that into an RV slash YouTube studio with plugins for the guitar and the bass and all that stuff. And I would still have my kitty tree and things. I still want to have it designed in a way that's very cat friendly. And I still want to maximize the space that I have and make it really clean and spacious and safe and unassuming looking on the outside, but like a very cool home with lots of purple on the inside. And I offered to have a spare bedroom for my mother to take her out to California where she would get the best medical care. And you know she would, especially any state that is loaded with sanctuary cities. And Los Angeles is a sanctuary city. So is San Francisco. That one thing means that you're going to automatically get great health care because they are structurally set up and prepared for feeding and taking care of all of the people, the influx of people that are coming in, or if they're not planned for it, surprise, surprise. But I know that as a person who was poor, who lived in Los Angeles and who lived in San Francisco, I know that I got the best medical care, and I actually was grateful for that because I was cognizant of the fact that I was getting the same caliber care of certain stars that we'd all recognize and stuff. And I'm thinking, if I can get this and not have to wait for days and days and days and get to run around like you get other places, like state of New Jersey comes to mind. So, but my mother just is not interested in this at all. And say somebody said, well, hey, why don't we help you to get out there and get housing? And I thought they meant just this temporary thing for me to go and deal with my storage and go to central casting and deal with some stuff with the paperwork that they, need to get my information straight. After all these years, when you're an actor and everything, and it's like there's no need for you to not have the proper information. And some things, rather than try to deal with things on the phone, on the internet, no, deal face-to-face thing. Burbank, I know where Burbank is. Burbank is a very short bus ride from Hollywood. Burbank, matter of fact, my BFF lives in Burbank now, so Burbank is very easy. So I have all this business I can take care of when I'm in Los Angeles. So, but people were talking about the chance of housing for me and my mother out there. And the thing is, okay, I'll run it by my mother, but I pretty much know what her answer would be. And so I talked to her about it today, and she's adamant. She hates California on principle. And I can't, she thinks California done me wrong. No, California didn't do me wrong. I made choices. You lay in bed, you get blisters, and oh well, you earn them. Shame on you. Nobody forced me to go and have my adventures and have my good times and whatever. And it's not California's fault. It's not anybody's fault. I can look in a mirror and I can point, and I know who I'm pointing. It has nothing to do with where I was. Yes, I had opportunities out there, and that's great. Uh, and unfortunately 9/11 interrupted a lot of those things. And I have a lot of unfinished business out there, but if at least I can take care of my storage, go out there for about 2 weeks and whittle the two uh, 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 units worth into one, which will mean selling some things, giving a lot of things away. With all those homeless people there, I'm sure there's things that I can give away, and and certain things I'm sure I'm going to be shipping back here. Even though it seems silly to be sending things back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I have those guitar parts that I'm sending back here. Even though now I don't know the point of dealing with that. Maybe it'd be better to deal with that out there, you know. Rather than deal with the build, I think it would maybe be better to sell them in California. But I need to take care of some business out there, so I'm starting to think about. I'm not actually packing wardrobe yet because the longer things are rolled up and packed, the longer wrinkles can set in. Even if you roll up things, and there's invariably that's going to be happening, the wrinkling. Plus, what if you hack up things for this Los Angeles trip that you realize you actually want to wear here? And the thing is, certain things, it's one thing, a real short t-shirt or spaghetti strap little thing, I can wear that even for a few minutes and I can sweat in it, and I could at least hand wash that and let it air dry and it's clean again. But I find that if you wear something even just a few minutes and you put it in a plastic bag full of other everything else that's clean, the bacteria will actually grow on something that you wore even just for a few minutes. It contaminates everything else. So you have to be real serious about washing your stuff. And that's another reason why I want to wash as many of my clothes as possible. That I mean, the things out there are washed, but the thing is, the mice, they've been running around and everything. And if I see pee or that you wouldn't even know about the pee on a pile of clothes unless there was plastic bag or something, and they get wet. That's how that was a clue. And then, of course, unfortunately, they shit everywhere, and that's another thing why it's better to have all your stuff all protected and stuff. I don't have furniture to put those things in, and frankly, when you're dealing with these vermin issues, you don't necessarily want to deal with a whole lot of those kind of furniture that just allow the vermin to accumulate their debris. Plus, don't forget they shred paper and stuff to make their nests, and there's always the fear of what it is that you care about that they're shredding. If they're shredding the paper that you use to wrap statues and glassware around for protecting the glassware, that's one thing. But if they're eating at your notebooks and your money and stuff, that's obviously unacceptable. So I feel like I am in a race against time to try and protect as much of my stuff as possible and pack it up as much as possible. And it's obvious that the landlord is not serious about getting us the pest control that's needed to do it. And another thing, we found out the landlord cannot be trusted. He went behind our back. They had some kind of, they have special meetings here in the city of Atlantic City pertaining to the code enforcement. They're noticing certain neighborhoods that are having reputations for uh, gang offenses, drug dealing offenses, homeless hanging out offenses, loitering and littering offenses, things like that. And I'm afraid my neighborhood is one of those such places. And now, there's a lot of good people that realize that there's families that are just trying to survive and that are overwhelmed by situations that they did not start and are beyond their control, and they should not be penalized or punished or made like they're responsible for things that are going on. We live in a neighborhood full of a lot of transients, a lot of people that are having some serious problems that come to this neighborhood either to get help, for social services, or because they're helping themselves through medicating themselves through the drugs that they like. And so a lot of people come here for those reasons. And then you have people who rent out properties here and they run their churches and then they want to make more money, so they sublet that space. Don't let it go to waste when it can be making somebody money, right? And so what you heard when I turned this camera on was the fun church. And it is now 8:14 p.m. It's going to be getting louder and louder. They'll be doing this till past 10:30, okay, and it's gonna, well, depending on how long this runs, you'll hear what you hear. So this makes living here very stressful. Trying to find quiet times to film is very stressful, and some filming that I thought I was going to do, I didn't do because I didn't go out. Because I was too busy doing YouTube stuff. And some things I shot turns out I'm not going to be able to post until either I get a video editing program, and it has to be a free one, and it has to be very easy to learn, especially the basic things that I just want to do, a trim, and it would be nice to have ability to do some storyboarding, because that's something that I don't even have to do any other editing, but just storyboarding. That would have helped with some other footage that I had. It's not going to help for current footage. But if I had that capability, see, I used to be able to do that inside any Windows computer, and they took that basic functionality away from us. And I don't understand why you took the basic storyboard away and the trim away. That's so unnecessary. And so that's why you guys are getting this unedited content that's full of a lot of imperfections, and I just hope you can bear with me. That's why. But I'm working on trying to get to Los Angeles, and I really have that as my focus. I was going to have you see. This is one of the things here. Sometimes you put things up for inspiration, and in one of the fashion magazines, they had a picture of Hollywood Boulevard, and so I cut out a whole bunch of stuff pertaining to Hollywood, and I was going to do something with it, but I realized if I put it on the wall here, it would so far away you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. But it's something for me to look at and think, I really want to get out there. But I don't want to get out there just to sit my ass down in the middle of a tent city. I want to go out there and have uh, a safe place to be, where my key fits a door, and I need some time at least to deal with my storage. And another thing that would be great is if I could get some dental surgery done there, so I could get these bone fragments that are tooth fragments that are actually thin. They feel like safety pins or straight pins, and they're in some of my gums, and I would love to have them taken out, even if I have to wait for hours in the ER to do it. You see, last time I was there, they had dental surgeons in the ER. Another thing I'd be willing to pursue in the state of California is getting ID out there. That would be great, because I can get ID out there and nobody in New Jersey needs to know, especially if one's non-driver and the other is. There's anything wrong with having ID in more than one state, especially when you're considering that where is your true allegiance. But I thought there were some other things that I wanted to talk about, but this is yeah, I am really trying to get to LA, because we found out that the landlord has no intention of going out of his way to pursue the pest control thing, and he is all of a sudden, all the years that he has had this building, he never cared about what it looked like. When you live 200 miles away up in a farm, you can't be worried about what all your properties are looking like, and what the neighborhoods are like, and what it's like to actually experience having to suffer from some of your neighbors. And if some of the tenants that you have rented to are harming some of your other tenants, you seem to be on the side of, I don't know, it's hard to really say. But we're feeling more and more like we're absolutely the lowest on the totem pole here, and it would be so much easier for my mother to agree to come with me. Then I can get to LA maybe even before I got that bus. I still think the bus would be a really great way for me to get our things out instead of renting U-Hauls and everything and having to worry about, because moving is a challenge when you don't have a vehicle, but or you don't have somebody, a whole bunch of friends on speed dial. They have, this one has a truck 4x4, this one has this one has a Jeep, this one has this. Plus people have lives and things, and like I know people with cars in California obviously, but they're going through some real serious stuff. And so I can't, they don't even know that I'm this deep into my plans for going out there, even to take care of my storage and stuff. I don't know, I don't have plans for a place to stay out there. I just, if I could pack for every eventuality, and now I'm thinking of something else here. I know that I'm not good for packing light, and I hate having having to carry heavy things. But I'm also thinking of this. You know how I like to change clothes every video. And if I still want to be making videos when I'm out there, I don't want to be wearing a very limited palette of clothes and wearing the same things over and over again. So that means I'm going to be dealing with the weight of extra clothes for the clothes changes that I'm going to be having to do to make the kind of videos that I want to make. um, so, gotta think about that. And, alright, well, since I can't think about what else it is that I wanted to talk about with this, but yeah, we found out that the landlord really is not on our side with this. Maybe he's thinking that if the facade and everything looks better, then maybe he could sell it for more money. But it's like the putting lipstick on a pig analogy. Until you deal with things that are the real serious issues with this neighborhood itself, all the beautiful things to make this building look nice on the outside, when you're still dealing with, when the wind blows hard, you got cracks in the front that you can actually feel serious drafts, and that of course causes your if you don't have insulation and stuff, that causes you to cost a lot more for your heating bill. And I don't want to be here another summer. I could get the heck out of here. And if my mother would listen to reason, she could go to California where she would have the best medical care. She's worried about her heart. She could get the best medical care there. And she says, oh, she doesn't have any of her friends here. Well, none of her friends are local anyway. Her best friend died. The other people that lived here don't live in the state anymore. Okay, granted they're not as far away as California, but they're not close. And I can't, and I know that she wants to be what's familiar to her. I understand that. But I don't want to necessarily be 3,000 miles away from her. But I don't want to wait to get on with my life till I'm 90 fucking years old either. But in the same token, I don't want to not be with her. But in the same token, being in this situation is so stressful. And the landlord doesn't seem to care about us dealing with our vermin. And he acts like we have too much stuff. And he acts like my stuff is trash. It's like, excuse me, how dare you? And yeah, this is just, living here is extremely stressful. Not getting enough sleep, I'm sure that's not a healthy thing. And how am I supposed to drive, get a license and drive, if the glasses that I got fitted for aren't even good enough for me to see out of? If I could see better without them than with them, the only thing they're good for is reading glasses. The main point of my starting to get different medical things taken care of is so that I be prepared for driving and life out in California. But if I can't even get a basic, decent vision fitting, I never thought that that was something that they could screw up. It's crazy. Uh, Oh, I wanted you to see this purse and ask you what you thought. This, I was thinking of bringing this out there because it goes with a lot of the colors I like to wear. Even though I'm worried about having things out there that can get dirty easily, because I am not, right as of right now, I'm not planning for even having a place to live. I have a sleeping bag, and I gotta think about what the weather is going to, temperature range is going to be like. And it's all different if you're walking around in a t-shirt and a skirt and you're just walking around doing your errands, but you're not outside all the time. But as opposed to hanging out on the beach, say in mid-December, but out there it's a lot warmer, but you're still dealing with the damp of being by the ocean. I plan on spending a fair amount of time in Venice Beach also, but maybe I should put this back further so I could see how this is as far as the color goes from far away. This, see, this has both the purple and the fuchsia that I'm wearing. This has this. There it has. Uh, yeah, it has. I'm considering bringing it, even though it's really awfully small, as far as a purse that I'd be carrying around and stuff, and how I would keep it clean. I don't know. I probably should do better with a bigger tote bag of some kind. And there's this skull bag um, that I know needs some sewing work, but I usually carry this as a second bag to use to put things in. I'm going to have to bring a snack bag for crossing the country. The last thing you want to do is be spending a bunch of money on food on the way. Even though I'm planning on treating myself to some Chinese food if I encounter it, because I think that's special. Okay, I can't remember everything that I wanted to talk about, but yeah, I am trying to get back to LA, both thinking about the short term, dealing with my storage thing, and the long term, getting the bus and getting the heck out there, or at least if I could get housing and stuff. But the thing is, getting housing is one thing. Having something that I can afford with what I am not really making is another thing. I would love to get back into the acting work again. I'd love to get back on stage again. I'd love to do the dancing again. And I still want to keep doing the daily YouTube thing. So, and I'm waiting for these to come out so that I can put some more beads in. And I have to decide on the color for the beads, because I tell you one thing, I am not going back to California without the beads in my hair. But it'll be cool that I can go out there with the braids. So I'm thinking, because this braid here is looking kind of funny, I'm thinking I may take out this one and redo it. I don't know if you could tell, but some of the hair is kind of, some of them are, I guess because of the way it's pulled, it doesn't look like a tight braid right now. So, and this was just another way to wear them to get them out of my face. Okay, so I will talk to you guys tomorrow. It is now 8:28. Oh, and all the people hooting and hollering out there, I'm telling you. You know how many times I have to take the fan and run that just so that I can try to mute out the sounds of the bullshit? Okay, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.